I've been wanting to make a video on Asian cars in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown for a decent amount of time now, and with no Asian car manufacturers being confirmed in the latest Hong Kong trailer, I thought it'd be a nice time to do it now. So I'll be brief about what this list is going to be comprised of, and it's not going to be cars that I 100% expect in game, like a Nissan GTR or a GR Supra. No, I wanted to make this list a bit more interesting, kind of coming from a more personal stance of cars that I want in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, but also cars that I've reasonably thought about that could fit Solar Crown very nicely. So going off with number 1, we have the first generation Honda NSX. Now I really like the look of this car. I know it's not the fastest in a straight line, but I thought it'd be a really nice car to have in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Like, could you imagine going down the highway, cruising down the highway or something with your Honda NSX, or bombing it down a mountain road with this car, with its pop-up lights on, or even if you have the 2002 facelift, just the entire car looks so cool, and it'd be such a nice dream to drive this in-game. Now, going off to the next car is the Toyota 2000 GT. Now this might be an interesting car to have, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it. About 350 of these were made, and recently I believe one was sold for about £700,000, which is just under $1 million US. And this car is just a complete icon. It was one of the pioneers of Japanese sports cars in the 60s, showing off that Japan can indeed make sports cars that are fun. This thing is tiny, it's a lot smaller than you might think, and if you're as young as me, you might not even know that this car featured in the Bond movies. So I thought this car would be a really nice kind of collector's car to have late game. Because it's TDU and the progression is quite long, I think everyone's going to kind of come to appreciate this car. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Now, I couldn't decide between having the Hyundai i30 or the i20N. I have yet to see a Hyundai i30 or i20 in a game. That is the actual road variant, or like, I guess, the everyday variant that everyone gets, rather than just like the rally car or the track car. So the i30 is actually quite comparable to the Veloster in terms of performance, but it's like a more tame 5-door hatchback instead of like a sporty feeling 3-door hatch, which I guess won't really be conveyed across in-game. And the i20, I thought, well, if we're having a GR Yaris or like a Polo GTI, I think this would probably fit it better size-wise rather than the i30. So between those cars, having either of those cars I think would be very cool to have, and it'd be so sick to drive those during, like, you know, the tight alleyways of Hong Kong cities and things like that. I think Hyundai i20 or an i30N would just be so fun to drive. Now the fourth car that I put on this list is actually a very popular car with the TDU community. I believe the normal variant of this car is the most upvoted car when the car suggestion thing was a thing on the TDU Discord server, and it is the Lexus LFA Spider. Now I'm not actually sure if it's called Spider because they made 2 of these and they literally came from the manufacturer. I believe this thing doesn't even have a roof. I think it's just an LFA with the roof chopped off. I'm not sure how you can deal with the rain or put, like, you know, the roof up. I probably should have thought about it a bit longer adding this into the list. But I was also thinking about kind of diverse cars that you don't see in games that might attract more people to come over to TDUSC, and I think the LFA Spider is a great way to do that. Just cruising down a beach road with that awesome Yamaha tuned V10 behind you. Now that would just be so incredible to experience in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which is why I decided to put it in anyways, even though that only 2 are made, and it might be incredibly hard for them to get their hands on it and like actually laser scan it into the game. Now number 1 on this list is quite an interesting one, and it's a car that I kind of adore, but I always keep forgetting about, and it's the Nissan Silvia 240 RS. No, this isn't your generic S13, S14, S15. This is a Group B rally car, and I decided to include it because I was looking around to see what kind of events Hong Kong have had. You have like F1 races that have taken part in Hong Kong, but you also have the Beijing to Hong Kong rally, and rather impressively, this Nissan Silvia 240 RS, even though it didn't do amazingly in Group B, actually did pretty decently in the Beijing to Hong Kong rally, and I thought it'd be a really nice car to include. You don't really see it in any other game, or I don't think I've ever seen it in any other game. I'm sure I'm wrong, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but I would love to see this car in game. It'd just be so cool exploring the island in this Silvia, and yeah, it's just different, unique, and kind of everything I would ask for a Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown game. It is kind of like an awesome city rallyist, and it can off-road. I think it's very much shown that it can. I do have some honorable mentions now because I thought 5 was really hard to keep this list down to. So first we have the Impreza GC8 that also took part in the Hong Kong to Beijing rally, but it's also, of course, a first generation Impreza. And the GC8 you don't really see in games anymore. You always see the 22B. And yeah, I thought it'd be nice to have like the GC8. The Kia Stinger is also a car I was thinking about including on this list. Now, the Kia Stinger is something I'm struggling to love just because of its looks, but it is a really cool car nonetheless. The Lexus IS350F. Now, I love Lexus saloons. I think they look awesome, and the IS series is probably my favorite just because of the size of the saloons, but I think it could give fair game to like the C series, but also the M3 and the Giulia. Those sorts of cars I think could give this car a decent amount of competition. And of course I can't make a list on Asian cars without mentioning probably my favorite 90s Japanese car, which is the Honda Integra Type R DC2, arguably the best handling front-wheel drive car to exist. I love this car. It's so cool. I love kind of everything about it. Like it's a saloon kind of. It has an awesome engine and it handles like a dream. Like what more could I ask for a car? So that's pretty much it for this video. There were loads of cars that I wanted to mention. Originally I actually wanted to make this an entire list and kind of going through each manufacturer and thinking of like my dream lineup for Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, but seeing as this video is already 10 minutes long, I wanted to make it as brief as I could while actually explaining some reasoning as to why I want these cars in game. So yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for watching.
Yeah.